Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to round 15 of our F1 2010 career mode. Yes, we return this weekend out at the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza, of course for the Italian Grand Prix. Now, if you missed out on the video that went live a few days ago from Belgium, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. Of course, our final race of the European leg of the season coming up this weekend, and I must admit, I'm quite looking forward to it. Now, I've obviously been doing a few bits and pieces behind the scenes. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but no other team really wants to sign us at the moment. I'm trying to give answers that I thought other teams would like, you know, saying that I'm not interested in staying with HRT or I'm looking for other offers. I think Colin Collins just thinks I'm trying to play hard to get at the moment, because obviously he's still got a contract that is being sent our way as well. But of course now the big goal is to try and beat out Michael Schumacher in the World Championship. Annoyingly though, Schumacher did get his best result of the season last weekend as well. Sebastian Vettel now 29 points clear of Lewis Hamilton at the top of the table. The German is on an absolute tear at the moment. Fernando Alonso still in third ahead of Nico Rosberg, so 4 drivers from 4 different teams inside your top 4 there. Just ahead of JB, Felipe Massa, Mark Webber there. Michael Schumacher on 73 points to his name. Just ahead of Adrian Sutil and myself, so we are still P10 in the World Championship, but I'm going to need to score 34 points now between now and the end of the season, and that's if Schumacher doesn't score a single one. So it's going to be a tall order to try and get the jump on him. We're tied still with Timo Glock and Vitaly Petrov. Robert Kubica now just 1 point further behind as well. So trying to hang on to this top 10 is not going to be the easiest thing in the world. And still we are waiting on our teammate Bruno Senna to score a point there. Constructors-wise, Red Bull now 13 clear of McLaren. Ferrari and Mercedes not a million miles away either. Obviously, again, as I've mentioned before, our goal is to just try and make sure that we beat out Virgin and Lotus as well. So, yeah, of course, if you're new around here and you're not already, please do consider hitting that sub button as well, because we are getting very close to 2k on the channel. But yeah, without further ado, let's head out onto the track. Well, returning then here to the Temple of Speed. Of course, the aim is to have a car as quick as you possibly can in a straight line around here. And, well, to be fair, this HRT is actually very good. We've got a new downforce package as well that apparently modifies the downforce by 20%. I don't believe that just means we've got a permanent 20% extra downforce on the car. But yeah, we are genuinely seeing some big upgrades to this machine as the season goes on. So if we don't get a drive anywhere else, we might still end up with a fairly competitive car ready for next season. But I'm hoping as well this weekend can try and be quite a good one for us, as a little bit sketchy through the second chicane there first time through. Practice pace looked very good though around this circuit, so hopefully we should blitz our way through Q1 at the very least. Well, my main danger corners so far this session have been that second chicane. And then down here, and Ascari as well there. Just so easy to run a little bit wide on the way in. That kind of completely upsets your rhythm right the way through. They're dipper wheel in the gravel that time round then. But yeah, this first lap is going to be much more just a banker lap, a bit of an installation lap. As I mean, we're doing over 200 miles an hour before we get down towards the final corner. On the run-in towards turn 1, we're getting close to 350 kph. If I remember correctly, that's about 215 miles an hour, which is absolutely mental. 128.7 though for our first run. Not bad, but definitely be improved upon. Well, our teammate Bruno Senna then did briefly appear right at the top of the pile on a 127.9, so quicker than Alguersuari, quicker than, I believe, Nico Hulkenberg as well there. Della Rosa, though, now has done a 126.9. Still not getting my ideal lap in, though, as we only go 3/10 quicker than Bruno. That might be enough to get us through, but I just don't want to risk it there, as that's the other big thing. Of course, these cars, I mean, I guess it's probably an issue with the HRT as well, more specifically, but I'm having to brake so much earlier than I would in a modern F1 game, just because there's way less downforce, and just the brakes aren't as good. Well, this is a venue where consistency is hard to find on a car that is so trimmed out like this. Trying to avoid a lot of the bigger bumps out of that final corner. 26.9. We are definitely improving, but I just want to try and get one properly decent lap in. Well, there we go, finally nailing the line through Ascari, and hopefully this is going to put us way up closer towards Mark Webber up at the front of the order. Break just as you go underneath that, I think it's Santander sign, isn't it? Down in towards the final corner. Get the power down the exit, avoid the bumps on the outside. It is going to be a 125.5, puts us P3. That should be enough to see us through into Q2. Well, there we are then once again. Sebastian Vettel, Mark Webber seem to be the two on top early on in qualifying. It is both Red Bulls, then both Ferraris, then both McLarens at the moment. We will find ourselves up in 7th place, though, ahead of both Mercedes. Did Bruno Senna make it through into Q2? Yes, he did. So fair play to our teammate once again there. So I think that's both Williams, both Lotus, both Virgins, and Sebastian Buemi all out. But both HRTs are through. Well, I certainly don't think making Q3 is going to be easy for us. But I think, well, with a good lap hooked up, we should be able to make it through and into that final session. Now, I haven't been messing around with the aero around this circuit at all. I think I'm running 2-2 wing. And basically just obviously trying to hang on through some of the kind of more high downforce stuff around this circuit. But yeah, I could try and mess around with the active aero, but I'm just worried, of course, if I mess it up, then I'm going to lose loads of speed in a straight line as well. And of course, in qualifying, we should be able to hang on through the corners. Like I said, Ascari is just so lethal, though. You can get away with a bit of a hop, skip, and a jump over that final curb. But it's so easy to upset the balance of the car there as down in towards the final couple of corners then. Just trying to brake a little bit later as the grip ramps up through Q2. I don't know as well if the AI are messing around with slipstream off for each other, but I need to be back in the 25s. That first run is a 25.9, so I might be able to improve, I might not. Well, I haven't even had a chance to look at how far up we are on the Delta so far. All I could see in my peripheral was that it was in the green. So as we make our way down through that final corner once again, must admit, yeah, the lightness of these cars really does mean you can throw them into that final turn and get away with quite a lot. 25.3 that time. If that doesn't get us through into Q3, I don't think I will. Well, there we go then. That time round, Ferrari and McLaren maybe starting to show their pace a little bit more. Alonso fastest on the board ahead of the McLaren and the Red Bull. We end up P6, going quicker than Mark Webber that time. Yeah, once again, I think your top 10 are exactly the same 10 cars as it was in Q1. Bruno Senna, he will line up 16th on the grid. Quicker than Alguersuari, but a long way off anybody else. Well, with not much time then in Q3, we've got to try and make sure we get a good lap in nice and early on. As I've said all weekend, it is quite difficult to try and get it absolutely hooked up around this circuit. Obviously, you don't want to try, feel like you've left time on the table, but it's so easy just to run wide, just to get a little snap of oversteer. It's so weird, obviously, running an F1 car around this circuit. Someone's made an error somewhere, but of course, yeah, everybody, you can just tell a Formula 1 car isn't designed to drive like this. Obviously, with such little downforce on it, it's braking maybe a little bit too late down in towards that second chicane. And once again, I've probably compromised myself a little bit of time. I'd love to believe a 24 is doable here. Not with lines like that, though. Don't hit the wall. That's going to be 3 minutes of repairs. I don't know why it's 3 minutes of repairs, but it is. Well, I know I've lost my wing a couple of times before in races in this series. It definitely doesn't then lead to a 4-minute pit stop. Although, to be fair, I won at Belgium last weekend. Didn't end up being much better than that either. We are going to get one run then here in Q3. Sebastian Vettel has done a 124.8. As I said, I want to believe we could match or at least get close to that. But I think with all the pressure on us, I'll be happy just to get a clean 125 in. That's the kind of thing I'm nervous about doing. Well, just about able to get all the gravel off our tyres then is out of the final corner then. Carry the speed over the start-finish line. 300 kilometers an hour before you even cross over the line there. Like I said, over 340 by the time we get down in towards turn 1. Braking at the 200-meter board there. Just try and get the car slowed down. Kiss those two apexes through the first couple of corners. And then just avoid the wheel spin on the exit there, cycling all the way back up through as we make our way through Curva Grande. Once again, you're going to need 7th gear, and then we are eyeing up to brake just under the tunnel, ready for the second chicane. Oh, I thought I broke a little bit too late there, but we did meet both curbs. Just ran a little bit wide, though, through the exit, and obviously had to gravel it up before we hit the gravel. The first of the Lesmos there. Not a great run either. Oh, did not need that extra upshift either. Oh, no! You literally saw the game lag. What was that? Oh, we are going to be lining up 10th on the grid then. Ready for this race. Vettel's on the pole ahead of Button, Webber, and Alonso, and Webber. But we are lining up P10. And suddenly now we're going to be right in the thick of it.
Finished near the back of the field in the last race. We need to try and do better here. Get out there and show the boss what you're made of.
Well, here we are then, ready at the Temple of Speed. Oh, it's lights out and away we go. I didn't even know we were going there, but we'll try and get off to a fairly decent start down in towards turn 1. I was hoping we might be able to have a look for a run on Michael Schumacher, but remembering... Oh, there we go. Actually, there we go. Don't speak too soon, Matt. Oh, I heard someone's front wing fly off behind a Schumacher span. Might have helped him round in the end, but I think he was already gone through turn 1 there. And there's been chaos behind. Looks like Bruno Senna is immediately up to 11th spot as well. So maybe our teammate could try and bag a point today as well there. But, of course, everybody just trying to get the car slowed down through those first couple of corners. And that has been a chaotic start seemingly behind us. As I think Bruno Senna might have damage as well. Maybe tried to be the hero down in that first corner. Bit of a shame, of course, that you don't get replays on this game, but everybody then up at the front of the order trying to tiptoe our way through these opening few corners, and now it's basically the Red Bulls, the Ferraris, the McLarens, the Renaults, Rosberg and myself.
You can set the wing in the opposition to increase downforce.
There you go, thank you. But yeah, it's basically those drivers that have been able to get away from the rest of the pack, so I've got to try and stick in the slipstream here as best as I can, as I haven't really done any running in the tow this weekend. I mean, look at that, 350 by the time we get down in towards that final corner as well. That is not normally where you're picking up the biggest speed around this circuit, but Robert Kubica then tucked up in the slipstream of Nico Rosberg just in front of him. Are we going to see more squabbles on the run back down in towards turn 1? We are at VMAX there. Kubica and Rosberg break way earlier than I was expecting. A double overtake by the time we get back in towards turn 1. Not going to complain. Oh, there you go. Confirmation as well. Bruno Senna. I think he did try to be the hero down at turn 1 there. Has lost, I would assume, his wing. But should be able to keep going. It does seem then like the pace in this HRT very, very good at the moment around this circuit. It's Hamilton trying to duke it out with both of those Ferraris down in towards that final corner. So Fernando Alonso, yeah, dropping off of the podium early on in this race. Of course, his first Italian GP. For Ferrari this weekend, but yeah, looks like my teammate and my rival have had the worst starts to this race. Schumacher all the way down in P23. Oh, so I don't expect him to score, as Hamilton once again then early on the brakes. By the time we get down in towards turn 1, I'm kind of doing a Daniel Ricciardo before he's even in the sport. Oh, Felipe Massa into the pit lane then, so that's a very, very early stop in this GP. It's going to promote us up to 5th place then. But yeah, the AI definitely seem when they're battling. Yeah, when the AI are battling each other, they really do seem to lose a lot of speed around this circuit. Problem for us, though, is that already it looks like Sebastian Vettel has scampered away up at the front of the order. I was hoping to take these tyres to about the end of lap 7. Normally, you want to try and aim to go to about 1/3 distance on the option tyres at the start of a race. But yeah, at the moment, though, we do seem to have the speed to hang. Well, there we go. Fernando Alonso then also into the pit lane. So our Ferrari potentially doing a 2-stop strategy here. I can't imagine that would be a particularly good way of getting through this race. As there we go. Now with a bit of slipstream into the 124s. Well, that was definitely braking hard at the next few corners. There was our first little wobble of the day. Gotta be careful I don't do too many of those. As we get to the end then of lap 7, these tyres are beginning to feel rather second-hand at the moment. They're not awful, but they're definitely not providing the grip they once were. And I'm always a little bit worried that the AI are going to either over or undercut us in these races. Make sure we're heading into the pit lane though. Big front lock-up. Where is the line? Illegal blocking? I was trying to head into the pit lane. No idea what that one was all about, but yeah, that's been not the ideal pit lane entry then, but hopefully we can still get a nice, clean, tidy stop. Just, I hit the brakes at the right time. I don't believe that one. So Hamilton then, and a few of those other guys as well, will want to try and get the jump on me. Robert Kubica's got the jump on us. So that's a bit of a nightmare for us at the moment. Hopefully we're still going to be up, or in the points, as I've accidentally double shifted there on pit lane exit as well. Who is this alongside us backing towards turn 1? Oh, don't outbrake myself. It's so difficult on the inside line there, but we've just about done enough. Oh no, Bruno's out again then, so his second retirement in the last 3 Grand Prix, and that means 3 races in a row. A HRT has failed to see the checker flag. In fact, no, it's 3 DNFs in a row, isn't it? For our teammate Bruno Senna. But I've got to try and get my hammer down if I still want to score points today. Well, I'm pretty certain then I've just seen one of the Ferraris come out of the pit lane and is still ahead of us then. So somehow, in the space of about 4 laps, one of those Ferrari drivers managed to get an entire pit stop over us. Slightly alarming, but I think, yeah, clearly Ferrari is still trying to push it this afternoon, as these are a lot of the guys that obviously I need to be trying to beat if I want to score some points today. Of course, Robert Kubica, Vitaly Petrov, well, tied and 1 point behind us overall in the championship. So if I want to try and hang on ahead of them and maybe try and finish top 10 overall this season, then we're definitely going to need to try and get a big result here as a big train of cars. Are any of them peeling into the pit lane though? No, they are not. So I don't really know what's going on with strategy with the AI today. I think this might end up being one of those races where you only know where you are right towards the end of the afternoon. But once again, the AI break very early into turn 1. Can we go all the way around the outside of Robert Kubica? No, we can't. Oh, Kubica, a little bit of a wobble there through the very next corner. He'll swing defensive. Again, oh, I'm trying to look around the outside, and Kubica, I think just because he had a bit of gravel on his tyres there, just understeered out towards us. Luckily, we'll give up the spot in the process, but there is a huge train of cars just in front of us in this race, so I think we've got a few of the back markers that opted to start on the prime tyre that are still waiting for their pit stop here. It's so important if you get a little bit loose and lively early through Ascari. You've just got to gather it up. Accept that you're losing a bit of speed. Just gather it up and get the power down on the exit of the corner still nice and smoothly. But, yeah, this train definitely extends well up inside your top 10 at the moment. As I think, is that going to be one of those cars in? No, nobody's still pitting. So I think we're going to have to make some overtakes on the road then at this stage of the afternoon. There's Robert Kubica there still up behind us. I mean, we're a long way back from Felipe Massa. But the AI breaks so early. We will say thank you very much. I might even be able to get Adrian Sutil as well. Not quite. It's all Massa. Actually understeers out into us through the exit of the corner. Clearly not happy with my overtake there, but he has damaged his own front wing. Oh, Adrian Sutil, a little bit of a wobble as we make our way out of the second Lesmo, and hopefully now, I mean, it's very rare we can out-drag the AI inside this game. And that is exactly what we've done there. Give him a bit of a squeeze in towards the next corner there, as the team clearly loving that one. Heikki Kovalainen as well. Not really too sure what strategy he's going with, but hopefully we are going to relegate him back out of your top 10. As there we go, down the inside at that final turn. And let's not forget, those guys are kind of my big title rivals as well. Obviously, as the Virgin's just in front of us, is Vitaly Petrov trying to get a run on Timo Glock just in front of us. I mean, look at the speed we've got with the double slipstream on the run back towards turn 1. I'm going to pull to the inside nice and early. I'm going to definitely outbrake Petrov. I'm going to outbrake Timo Glock as well. Back into the points we go then. And there's definitely a few more spots we can try and gain. Well, we've got a battle of the Germans then just in front of us. No idea how Sebastian Vettel's race has become a little bit undone. I think, honestly, actually going a bit longer in the first stint has probably worked out for a few guys like Mark Webber here, because it basically meant you haven't had to deal with as much slower traffic in this race. But now Vettel trying to go on a charge once again on, I think, yeah, that's got to obviously be Fernando Alonso, doesn't it? So we get right up to the gearbox of Rosberg through that first corner. But this group does extend to the podium. Could I dare believe that we could bag a trophy today? Oh, what is Seb doing? He's driving all over the road at the moment, so no idea what's going on with Sebastian Vettel, but now with a double slipstream. As we make our way down the back straight, we're going to try and have a look to the inside of Rosberg. Oh, Vettel there goes a bit defensive. Rosberg might have the pair of us. Look at that then. Sebastian Vettel loses out in the end. As Nico Rosberg, though, goes all the way around the outside of him through the entry to Ascari. We're trying to get a run now around the outside of the second German as well. As we've still got Hulkenberg out there at this stage of the afternoon. Rosberg, trying to make it happen through that final corner. But I wonder, how many kind of slower cars we've got. There we go, Alonso back into the pit lane as well then. So back up to 5th spot in this race. I don't know who's ahead of the Hulkmeister. I think it might be a McLaren, but I'll have to double check in just a moment. Yes, it is. So it is Webber, followed up by both McLarens now in this race. But we could still bag 4th. Well, with Hulkenberg then, peeling into the pit lane there. We are now up to P4 in this GP. Mark Webber, though, let's not forget, still has not won a race this season. He is hoping that today will surely finally be his day. Just behind him, though, Button and Hamilton being relentless in those 2 McLaren cars. But we're looking pretty good at the moment for our second 4th place finish of the year. I don't think we're really going to have the pace against the guys in front. So I just want to try and make sure we bring this one home. Oh, Webber spun! Mark Webber spun! No way! We're going to be to the lead! I just can see the Red Bull down in turn 1 there, going for a bit of a spin. Looks like Button and Hamilton have made it through as well. But as soon as I spoke about Mark Webber maybe being able to bag his first victory of the season, as soon as I'd accepted the fact that we were likely only going to be able to walk home with a P4 finish, we have suddenly got a 3-second lead ahead of both McLaren cars. This will be huge against Schumacher in our rivalry if we can bring this one home. And out of nowhere, we lead the Italian Grand Prix. I mean, I was literally about to ask, what do McLaren do with Button ahead of Hamilton at the moment? Obviously, Jensen sensibly doesn't really have a shot at the World Championship this year. So do you just let Hamilton by and obviously hope that he catches me up? And do you just focus on trying to keep Sebastian Vettel at bay just a little bit further behind? But yeah, Michael Schumacher still not back in the points this afternoon. If we get all 25 here, we're going to be less than 10 away from him once again. Maybe a Mercedes seat for next season could be doable. Well, with just one more lap to go then, those McLarens have caught us back up here. And I'm so nervous. I haven't been able to talk over the last couple of laps. I've just been concentrating on making sure I nail my apexes, nail my exits, and try to make sure that I don't do anything stupid here. One more lap away from a huge victory this season. I came into this weekend thinking, well, I guess the most similar circuit to Montreal has got to be Monza. And, well, so far the result, for us at least, might end up being exactly the same then. Nice and tidy through those first couple of corners. Avoid getting any wheel spin. Avoid hitting any of the kind of auto-spinny curbs as well through those opening couple of corners there. Just got to try and make the HRT as wide as we possibly can. We know Jensen Button isn't the most aggressive driver in the world, but I'm sure if an opportunity opens itself up, there will be a chance for him to try and have a bit of a look for a move somewhere, anywhere. Oh, don't run too wide through that first Lesmo there. I think Button might have done, though. No, he has not. He's still right there with the proximity arrow. I just dipped one wheel on the gravel as well. Again, we're going to have to try and make this car as wide as possible as we make our way down the back straight. Sit just a little bit defensive. Make sure I nail my braking point, nail my turn-in point. As long as we get through Ascari clean and tidy, Button cannot stick with us. One more corner to go, though, and it is not over until it's over. Maybe a little bit of a showboating weave just there. But through the final corner, then, of the Italian Grand Prix, win number 2 of the season. Boy, oh boy, to quote Chris, that came out of nowhere.
Amazing! Brilliant result, man! Nobody expected that! Well done!
Well, there we are then. A British 1-2-3 on the podium when all is said and done. 0.3 of a second. That was the gap between myself and Jensen Button. come the checkered flag there. Hamilton will be happy that he was able to overhaul his main rival Sebastian Vettel this weekend, but only by 3 points and a couple of tenths of a second. And even then, I think Hamilton was a little bit lucky that he was able to do so there. Vettel comes through for 4th ahead of Nico Rosberg and Vitaly Petrov. Adrian Sutil ahead of Robert Kubica. Mark Webber forced to limp home in P9. He's given kind of a modern day Red Bull number 2 driver kind of performance at the moment there. And Pedro de la Rosa for BMW Sauber in that final points paying position as well. But I didn't want to talk about it until the race was over, but of course that means now there is a much less pressure on the team as well as we head towards the end of the season when it comes to our big title rivals there. Timo Glock actually beating Michael Schumacher in the end, and then it was just our teammate Bruno Senna that failed to see the checkered flag. Drivers' Championship-wise, though, it is still Vettel at the top of the table, 26 points clear of Lewis Hamilton there. But with Fernando Alonso failing to score once again, any small glimmer of hope, I think, of the Spaniard for a third world title have faded away once again this season. Rosberg still ahead of Jenson Button. Felipe Massa still ahead of Mark Webber. Like I said, Schumacher now just only 9 points ahead of ourselves as we are back ahead of Adrian Sutil. And now we've got a pretty healthy 17-point buffer to P11 as well in the World Championship. So hopefully, a top 10 is going to be doable by the end of the campaign. Don't believe there's been any other major changes in the drivers' table, though. Taking a look at the constructors, though, McLaren back ahead of Red Bull by just 6 points this weekend. Ferrari still in 3rd ahead of Mercedes, but we are now back with a bit of a safety buffer ahead of some of those other teams as well. Renault really do seem to have found their footing again this season. They look pretty comfortable to probably still finish 5th ahead of Force India, all things being considered. But with a 19-point buffer ahead of BMW Sauber, 25 now clear of Virgin. Surely we're going to be safe for 7th overall in the Constructors' Championship, but that's probably got to be our race of the season. Let's go have a word with Holly Samos.
Another Grand Prix and another victory for you and the team. Again, I offer congratulations. You must be delighted with your weekend's work.
Well, there we go then. I think, yeah, we've done really well this weekend. Again, though, do I be a bit more cocky? Do I try and kind of make it out like it's me, not the team? I don't want to stay with HRT next season. But the problem I'm getting a little bit worried about is I'm just not getting offers elsewhere. I'm kind of really swinging for the fences that we can beat out Michael Schumacher by the end of the season.
The paddock, as you know. Currently, there's talk of you moving teams next season. Is this something you would care to elaborate on?
Yeah, I think we definitely want to try and make that you kind of known that I'm keeping all of my options open right now.
You're quite the overtaking expert. It really paid dividends today, allowing you to take the win. Is it a part of racing you really enjoy?
Well, 10th to 1st in the end. No safety cars or anything like that. It was all about being brave on the brakes. But I reckon we'll go with it's what racing's all about. There we go then. That is going to be the end of the weekend here. Oh,
we've had an offer from Hispania Racing.
I already knew about that. I got excited then. I thought maybe someone else was coming to our rescue there. But yeah, again, there seems to be very few other teams interested. Force India could be a good shout, depending on how we get on against them towards the end of the season as well. But thank you all, though, so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and yeah, we will return next time out in Singapore.